Let me bring in Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert, who's also joining us live. Major J.K. Pariyar, defense expert, also joins the broadcast, as does Ravi Yadav, student. We also have Tejasvi Yadav on the broadcast with us as well. Let me go across to Major Mohammed Ali Shah, who's also live with us at this point. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, obviously there are some students who have returned back home, but now the process of evacuation becoming very difficult with Ukraine closing its airspace. Obviously now the land route has to be taken for citizens and individuals wanting to flee, to escape to another country. Flights are now coming from there. There's one we're tracking from Bucharest, of course, to Delhi. The government is, of course, urging other airlines to step in to assist this operation. Is the situation becoming a bit more complicated now with each passing day?
Oh, definitely. It certainly is very, very complex, complicating. It's a very precarious situation, not easy to handle. At the same time, I would like to tell all our viewers, everyone listening to us over here, that the only virus that spreads rapidly is not coronavirus or COVID that everyone would think. It is fear and panic. Fear and panic is a kind of a virus which spreads very, very rapidly, and it is extremely contagious. So please maintain your cool, your calm, your composure. Don't feel that, oh, all is lost. Trust me, everyone is concerned. The government, the citizens over here, the normal citizens who are not even part of government are actually concerned. Everyone is doing their bit. You are doing your bit with the media. Everyone is doing their bit, and I'm sure all our Indian brothers and sisters, all our brethren will be back home safe and sound. I just heard the lady over there in a very worrisome tone. She was saying, when a high-rise building could fall, what are you talking about, a basement or an underground shelter? Let me advise those people that an underground shelter, a basement or a bunker is actually safer than a high-rise building. They will not get the comfort and luxuries that they would get in a high-rise building, but certainly had I been in their place over there, what I would have done, instead of rushing out to Poland or to Romania, because it's common sense. The whole world is trying to evacuate by road over the whole world, not just Indians but the other foreigners in Ukraine as well at the same time. So now from the western border, when they go towards Poland, there would be traffic snarls, there would be traffic jam, there will be long traffic jams of 5 to 6 kilometers. So when it is difficult to manage a traffic jam in India, in a peaceful city like Bombay or in Delhi itself, a normal traffic jam I'm talking about. But here, when there's a traffic jam of panic, it is going to be even worse. So had I been in such a situation where there is no guarantee that even if I go to Romania or to Poland, I would be safely evacuated from there, what I would choose to do is, I know it's easier said than done, but it would make complete sense to actually have faith in the underground shelters and just stay there and keep your morals up. Because the moment you step out, there's no guarantee. Because the kind of weapons, the kind of bombing that Russia is doing, it is very, very lethal. Air bombing, strategic weapons are being used, ballistic missiles are being used. It is no comparison to what Ukraine army is doing. And let me tell you, instead of actually trying to get Russia on the table and try to get them to talk, Russia has said so. If Ukraine surrenders its weapons, we will talk to them, we'll sit with them on the table. But then, rather the international community should try to convince Vladimir Zelensky, who looks very stubborn, that he will not surrender, he will fight till his last breath. It's not the question about him, it's a question about other people as well. I would call it failed leadership by Vladimir Zelensky for, let me tell you, it's very surprising in Corona. Forget about Corona. Corona, yes, of course, there was a threat. But when he knew very well that there is a threat from Russia at the moment, they disallowed online classes. You had to be physically present there in Ukraine. And that is the reason, despite Indian government issuing out an advisory to all our fellow brethren in Ukraine to please come back, they chose, because everyone wants education, right? So they chose not to come back but risk their lives and take on and study there. But now when such a precarious situation had risen, and Zelensky also knew that 16th February he had put on Facebook the video that Russia will invade into Ukraine. If he knew so well, why were not any preventive measures taken by him? It is total case of failed leadership by the Ukrainian government, and my heart goes out to people of Ukraine. In fact, I genuinely care for them. We want peace. We all want peace. And what India did today at the UN by not voting for either in favor or against Russia, I think, was a very, very sensible decision. Very sensible. I was rather very surprised when China also did not vote. China, I thought they will support Russia blatantly. Imran Khan, one of their sidekicks of China, in fact, went off to Russia and expressed his support. The writing on the wall was very clear for everyone to see what Imran Khan was actually trying to do by landing up there. Now, people who are panicking, I would say, please do not panic. Relax, and efforts are on. No one is sitting and relaxing. Our flight went from India 2 days back. It came back from Iran. It could not fly through.
Yes.
Now Air India is actually doing their best to actually get people and get them back home. So it will take time. It happens. It is tough. But one thing we were taught in training, while we were training in the army for a war-like situation, because our training is such, it is very tough, and they train you for things worse than war. And they told us, the more you sweat in peace, the less you would bleed at war. And let me tell you, it is very tough. You have to handle that pressure. You have to be very, very mentally strong. You have to overcome that. And people would be discomfort, there's no doubt. People would be starving, no doubt. But then it's okay, as long. It's not about education being disrupted, Uday. It is about whether people are more concerned whether they would come out alive from there or not. And they are saying, we don't care for anything else. We should get back. Jaan hai to jahan hai. Health, they are concerned for their lives right now. And I can assure everyone, if you maintain your calm and composure and do not get into panic and run away to, okay, let me try, okay, we are being evacuated, let's go. The diplomats over there, the embassy has told, you can go at your own risk if you want, but we do not take any guarantee. So the students, whole day I've spent speaking to students back to back on different channels, speaking to them. And let me tell you, students are saying that if the embassy does not take a responsibility, who will take? Well, embassy cannot take any responsibility. Let's be practical and pragmatic. Who can take responsibility? Who can take guarantee? There's no guarantee of the missiles landing up only at a military base. They can be collateral damage. It's bound to happen. It's part of war. But at the same time, please maintain your calm, composure, and keep your wits about you. Is my advice to everyone who's stuck over there.
Okay.